Guys, back again, and what I can just talk about is we have got an emergency to the field here, and I'm always talking about we have problems. Much of the people have problems. Why is it a person? You understand the criteria, you understand what we are doing here. It's something like a charity, and you can now see there's a talk about at the road there. You'll see a car passing there, which is a Probox passing behind me there, and you can just come to the conclusion that they have come to check about the municipality, about we are constructing a house here that they are talking about. We have not yet tackled much of the measures from the government, and what I can just talk about is why are people concerned about what Gintu is doing at this kind of the time, and the fact that comes out effectively is whereby we can now handle this kind of the matters at the field, so they can just make it happen. Why is somebody going to bring much of the officers talking about, oh, Gintu is constructing an illegal house? Is it illegal? Yet we have subjected it into the internet. Everybody has ever learned about it, and even today we are just plastering, so we can just have it for so firm. And we have been attacked a bit here, talking about, we are told that there's a construction which is illegal. This kind of a small construction, a very small, tiny house here. Somebody's talking about we should have consulted the government. How can you consult the government about such kind of simple structure? And very small, and we are helping. And most of the people, what I can just say is, we have said about something which is going to be coming out very effective, that they're going to be coming to check on how the things are going to be coming. I've shown them much of the videos on what we are doing each and every kind of the time. Talk about we are doing something called the charity. Yeah, it's a charity work. The people we are talking about here, wamekuliwa na Jiggers. Mpaka saa hii wako kwa hospitali, exactly. Wako kwa hospitali na wanaishi hospitali hata saa hii. And
hiyo Jiggers iko hii area.
The Jiggers, yeah, they're from this area. Even this land belongs to the same person. Imepelekea mpaka hii land tumekuja kuiclaim in a way that wameanza kuwa kama mentally unstable. Imagine a person can pay for this piece of land 100 shillings na alime mahindi. So you can so that's what I'm talking about here. Look at this. Back again to the root of today. So the legs are a bit so it's normal. We are trying to precipitate it. Hello, internet. The Jiggers, they're just, oh my God. This is the family I'm talking about. So this is the hata wewe. So the people I'm talking about, they're in hospital. So hii mahali walikuwa wanaishi wanalala chini. This is the condition they were. You can see the legs how they are. Hello internet, wherever you are, welcome back. That's what we are doing here, to support this kind of the people, at least to have a home.
Yeah. Okay. You just update. We shall meet on Monday.
Thank you. Okay. Oh. Hello. Mko poa? Asante sana. Guys, there's a scenario here. Jesus. Mambo. There's a life here that it's a crying mother. Oh my God. Look at the children. They are just a bit having some problem. Unajua kwa see guys. Sasa si analia.
Ayubu, kaa hapa ndio kaa.
Guys, this is the matter to take to the hospital with an immediate effect, because this is not life I'm checking here, and oh my God. Guys, I'm feeling like this is not the horizon we are living, because look at the nature. Mtoto na yeye ako aje?
Oh
my God. Look at the young boy here. Ta wewe.
Ni ndani, si kutoka
na miguu.
Na tulienda usindo na ifunga ndio ya.
Sasa mnaishi aje? And we are helping the less fortunate to have something or to have a home. And they're just claiming that, we are told there's an illegal construction that's taking place here. Let me tell much of the people who are just thinking about they're going to be stopping us not to continue. What God has planned about it will continue. It will have to continue. And to the little fact is people are coming abrupt to the site, and they are talking about, oh, can you show us much of how this kind of the house looks like, and why are you plastering outside, why are you not constructing using the cement? That is not this is the criteria we always follow. It's the only thing that it's onto the road. You can imagine somebody is going to sell us to the county assembly so they can just come and talk about, oh, you know, this kind of the construction, this tiny house. What if it could be a bungalow? What if it could be, and they're talking about we're going to be getting a fine of 30,000 for what now? So sometimes we have to consider what they think about. If you're going to be talking about you need money, why can't you come and talk about Gintu? By the way, I don't have money. Can you lease us, or can you please help me with such kind of the money so as I can just make sure I'm getting my own things? But don't go and report much of the things that, oh, Gintu is constructing a house so they can just come. So what? For what reason? It's something which is very stupidical, and I can talk about even if we feel like we're going to be getting out of this kind of the temptations, getting out of this stupidity, still somebody is trying to get us back. We are outside of Nyabohanse. Even this is not even a municipality here. Somebody is talking about this kind of the house is built under municipality. So municipality Nyabohanse is no longer even a town. So how is it? And sometimes you have to consider and understand what we're going to be coming out with. So they think about the Jiggers family cannot have somewhere for them to sleep. And when they came, they never knew that the condition and why are we doing this kind of the charity team? Why are we doing this kind of the work here? And I have just shown them a video that this is the condition this kind of the people are, and this is the condition that it has brought us up to this kind of the conclusion for us to have a house. Even I've told them this kind of the land was least 100 shillings, and some people are going to be cultivating here, something which is very easy for us to handle. And at least they have just talked about on Monday they're going to be coming to check on how the things are going to be running here and there. So it's a little way that they were told to come and grab whoever was onto the site and take whatever we're going to be having. If it is just working tools, they could have taken them. And it's something which is a bit crazy. And today also I've received an information that the owner of this kind of talk about the person who had leased this kind of the land was coming here to stop people not to work, which is it can just be relating in a way that people are stupid in a mind that they think about everybody should be in the same condition they are. Like, okay, I should be mentor, I should be a mentor and a mentor, so you can just use me. A man-eat-man society. And we have talked about, this is where we had reached, talk about that kind of an area. And this is the point here, that even this kind of the toilet is inside, and that was a Lantana Camara at the front yard there. That's where we had reached in terms of this. So we had no hope to make sure that we're going to be using this kind of an area a little bit to expose this kind of the soil outside. And right now we are digging out the well here is coming to talk about, oh, get out, I don't want anybody, this kind of the such. Imagine you are just complaining when we are just looking for the best alternative. So you understand some of the people are always coming so as they can just see how the temptations, how satanic you are maybe, or they want to confirm how stupid you might be, but they've never found somebody to the site like me to talk about how it's going to be handled here, because we are trying the best, guys. We are ever squatting down, we are ever speaking out, talking about help us with whatever small you will be having, so they can just have this kind of the construction done. Look at this kind of how big it is, and it has consumed 5 trucks of hardcore. Even we never finished, even we have cut it short to make sure that we're going to be starting here with some of the bricks, so as because it's inside, so as because there's no much money for us to construct or to bring much of a truck or full of stone, because it will cut us very big. So I've decided that this kind of the inner will just construct using the bricks, and also now we have to backfill the whole this kind of the area. Talk about how many trucks are we going to be filling this kind of the holes here, so they can just be a level. We need a lot of trucks, we need a lot of maram to put it here. But somebody is going out and talk about, oh, because Gintu is constructing, there is so much money, so go and siphon the money. It's the same criteria that was used during that kind of the past time. Like somebody is going to be talking about, oh, now go to Gintu, he has said about something about me to the channel, go bring him here, charge him 100,000, get me my 50, get your own 50. So that's what they think about. So go and charge 30,000 and come back and and talk about it now, how we're going to be getting me something here. So it's something which is very crazy, and I'm going to be advising much of the YouTubers who are making this kind of the stuffs to be so hard in a way that I'm not interested with any kind of the YouTuber else. Talk about right now, everybody should frame himself and frame what you're going to be doing. Because when you're going to be talking about what is Gintu is doing, you can never know. Let me tell much of the people to understand. Do you know that even I've not paid myself the 2 trucks that I brought for the hardcore here? They don't know that even today, the money I'm paying today, it doesn't even belongs to whatever it has been contributed. We have a less turnout in terms of contribution in a way that we are trying with what small we are having, because even this kind of the toilet, I've dug it with, I'll talk about, we are trying even to come up with it in a way that we can just talk about the site gonna not be so silent as people should be there. Talk about the borehole, I'm paying my own money for it to be handled, because I said about I'm going to be helping the less fortunate or the less fortunate to the environment with 10% of my salary. So this is what I'm doing to this kind of an area also, because it's part of it. So when the people are coming out to talk about, oh, go and siphon this kind of the people money, even right now you check me, I don't have that 30,000 they need. They talk about they're going to be writing an invoice of 30,000 and find us because we are just constructing something, and it's not even mine. We are helping the less fortunate, the vulnerables, to make sure they're going to be having a permanent home. But why are people concerned about what Gintu? If you want to be making your own project, why can't you go on and talk about I'm going to be helping the other people? Everybody has a platform. Nobody has stopped any kind of the person not to have a construction, which is the best way for us to go. And to this kind of the clip of the moment, I'm going to be coming out to talk about we're going to be making it happen, and they have just already come. They have shown them what kind of the problem we're going to be encountering here at the site, and the people we are trying to help, because they are still in hospital. We need hospital bills. We need them to eat. We need them to be treated. And we need them to have a home. We need to fight from the village here to talk about we are just looking for a permanent solution. We are fighting for the people talking about, no, it was not meant for them to be constructed a house here because they needed to pick the land, or they needed to take over the land. Now we are fighting from each kind of the position. So they want Gintu maybe to surrender, but they will never surrender. That is just impossible, because now they're going to be finding now the craziest person in the field. If you talk about the satanic, I'm now the biggest Satan. Whenever it comes to whatever, whenever it teaches to a point where satanic things will be used, talk about Satan mind, and operate with the people meticulously. I'm going to be operating with them meticulously, because what we are doing here is something which is we are helping some of the people to have a home. Talk about the children who are suffering. They don't even go to school. Why can't we raise that money and go get this kind of the people to school? Better now we stop the construction and talk about let's this kind of the people go to school. And what are we now doing? If you are going to talk about, oh, this kind of the people are building here, go and find them money, and whenever they give you some small money, what they need is small money, which is always available. But to that kind of the effect, I'm going to be talking about we have to try our best. Let me not go further about it because we understand how human beings are in a way that even we have not even reached the lintel stage. They are still already commencing much of the things here. So back to this kind of the area. So everything is now possible, and we have seen we have already done something called the screeding all over, and we are hoping if you're going to be contributing and helping us to make sure that this kind of the house, I know it will bring much of the chaos, because when we stopped some 2 days ago, much of the people from the environment were talking about, oh, you started it very quickly, so again you have stopped. What has happened? Everybody is looking for the best opportunity to say a word. What we are just expecting is words from them, because they have to say as the work continues as normal. And as far as everything is in concern, Gintu is not bothered with that. What we are bothered is this kind of the house going to be in a finish? And we are praying very hard. For the people going to be praying for us, pray very hard. Talk about thank you very much, whoever is praying for us, and talk about this kind of the zone will continue very, very effective. And it will be the best way for us to do it and make it happen at this kind of the moment here. So at this kind of the time, we have already plastered a bit. Inside, they're gonna not be plastered because it's gonna be bulked with maram as it's gonna be subjected here, and it will be the best. So on Sunday, if you're gonna be contributing and helping us to get something better, we will just make sure that we're gonna be starting or called a brick laying or the brick setting at this kind of the site here. And also now we're gonna be seeing much of the people now outside here, yeah, east, west, and south. But that will be their own ways of getting it the way they need it to be. But for us, we are focused and we're gonna be maintaining. So guys, support us so we can just make sure that this kind of the house doesn't have any kind of the impromptus, talk about pogroms, intercoms, and interpogromitations that are gonna be coming out or arising from the people who are jealousy. Let's make it happen. And the house now gonna be framed back, and it's now looking so constant and very fantastic here. They're just eating some lunch in there, and after finishing the lunch, we're gonna be making sure that we are going on, because even the borehole down there, they are trying their best. They are using sponges to make sure you're gonna be hitting those kind of the stones to excavate the soil, and this kind of the maram also, you'll just use it in terms of backfilling this kind of the house here. But it will not be even enough. We have to look for the best, the better way for us to look for another maram. We heap it here and we have to backfill it. So we are looking for money after money after money. So guys, if, and I am begging to you, if you're going to be touched to this kind of the story of the Jiggers family, please help us so we can just have a platform which is the very best for them, and also staying in a very well and a conducive environment. Keep it tuned. I'm going to be back to you in a short while, and everything is just getting good. So the good fact about this kind of the site, which is giving much of the people a problem, is because it's around the road here. And you can now see this is the road, and much of the people are passing through this kind of the road. Everybody has to make sure they're going to be peeping out and checking, is this kind of the, how this kind of the site is, who is behind this kind of the site, who is building this kind of the site, who is making it. Right now it looks so effective from here, and you can now see how this kind of the plan looks like, because it's something which is a very meticulous and very awesome, and we have selected the best way for them to be in a very good environment, which we are looking forward for them to have a good area here. So already they have just finished their work, and they're going to be sorting out whoever they have just finished their work so they can just go back home. And it's around 14 lunchtime edition, and they have already finished the work. So and it's their speed of work, because it was not hard work, and they have already finished it. And I like about whatever we're just doing, and we are trying our best to make sure that everything is coming out more effectively here. Hey, this dog is in a danger. So the motorbike here, the motorbike here, so it might be hit like Cherokee drum. Oh my god, even it's very crazy. Shh. It's very old, and it's walking like it doesn't have food. So even the people are just always walking and talking about, oh, Gintu, we need to fine you here. I'm just not even understanding. If you're going to be fining us, we have not even paid the fee. Talk about we have not even paid for the hospital bills. So what are we going to be fining us? Sometimes we have to consider much of the things. And this just talk about good talk to the people who are just inciting that this kind of, what about the people going to be constructing the story building around the area? So keep it tuned, guys. I'm going to be updating you much coming out from this kind of the site, how everything going to be moving to make sure they're going to be getting it in touch. Keep tuned, keep it locked. Coming to you in a short while. Hello, beautiful folks. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're coming from. Thank you very much for you being tuned and locked in. You are, it's early in the morning to Comaveras as welcoming you wherever you're coming from. The new supporters, new subscribers, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be commencing this kind of the video talking about, we're going to be starting it today, and today it's the screening part of it, and to this kind of the site here, as right now you can even see we are in the screening pathway to make sure that everything going to be screeded more fantastic. How are you?
I am very fine.
Everything is so good.
Yeah.
So you are here. So guys, the good thing about him is early in the morning he should be in the site to check on how other things are just conducted here. Talk about these are just he should be here to see and foresee what's always being conducted here. Mambo iko chonjo, si ndio? Tuendelee nayo. Exactly. So guys, the work continues as normal, and it's the screeding, and after finishing the screeding part of it, they're gonna be plastering this kind of the side to make sure that it's going to be covered, and whenever it's going to be raining, it cannot affect much of the soil that was used in terms of the construction of this foundation here. So it's a bit longer, but they're going to be taking a bit time here to make sure everything going to be coming out good, and they will finish all the screeding part. But tomorrow is on Saturday. We're going to not come to the work because the engineer is a Sabbath day person, so tomorrow will not be at the work. So until on Sunday, I think we're going to be now commencing the brick laying, and also now making sure that the house is going to now come out more effective. So on also on Sunday, we're going to be now commencing to put much of the maram inside here to top up of it to make sure that everything going to be so fantastic here. So if you want to be supporting, guys, I've not seen anyone who has just democratized to a bit smaller stuff. Talk about again, we're going to be continuing up to this kind of time. Even today is a money that we're going to be making sure going to be coming out. It's going to be coming from my own pocket here to make sure we're going to be supporting also a bit to come out so effective here. So it's the work that is so normal, and it takes a lot of sand also, and I think they're going to be finishing it today and also plastering the outside to make sure that everything going to be occurring to be good. So also is very short. He has to look for an alternative to make sure that the screed is ever getting good. Mambo iko chonjo, bro.
Mambo iko chonjo.
Kila kitu iko bahali pake.
Kabisa.
Exactly. The work continues and the work goes on as normal here.
Yes.
I think the ratio is very nice. Talk about the ratio is very nice, and it doesn't have much of the caracatures of the day. So they have to make sure that everything is coming out so effective. So guys, we are still on it. Today we have less people in the site to talk about. It's the top mason, the top handman, and also the people who are one of the talk about the woman who is pregnant, who is bringing much of the water. Today I've given her the tender to bring water because we needed one handman, so she could not be a part of the team today. But I saw that, okay, let me do what is necessary. Then bringing a tuk-tuk, she allowed herself to make sure we're going to be bringing much over the water to the side, so it will be so effective there. So back to the borehole, they are still on it, and you can now see what they are doing here. Mambo vipi, bro?
Safi.
Kila kitu iko chonjo? Chai ushafika, si ndio? Guys, that's how they are just doing it here. So it's a bit harder in a way that they are trying their best to squeeze with it and also make sure that everything is coming out more effective. That's how they're doing it, guys. So when you see we're talking about, it's very hard a bit. They're just having the good thing is this kind of the stones that they're getting here, they can just be broken with this kind of the metal whenever they hit that kind of the metal, and it can just break easily, which is giving them a bit a longer time. It could be like the toilet. You understand the pit there, they dug it very coefficiently in a way that they went very straight to the point, and also they came out to talk about it. That's how. But where there's water a bit, this kind of the hard pans, they should be available. And we are gauging this kind of the home here, they have a borehole down here, and also this home here, they have a borehole somewhere. So this is the route of the channel of water. Talk about, we are looking for the channel of water, and that's what we are doing here at this kind of the point, and to make sure that everything is running more fantastic here. So everything will be updating you on what is coming, what is evolving, and what is coming out each and every time, as we're going to be supporting supporters, so it can just make it happen. And also we are on it, and we said that everything is so fantastic whenever it comes to this kind of the way forward here. So let them continue, as I'm going to be checking on other sites. And happy merara kidogo, happy merara hivi ama inafanga hivyo, umeiona, si ndio? So he has to make sure that everything is coming out so effective. So guys, keep tuned, keep it locked. I'm gonna be updating what comes next each and every kind of time. We have water. Maji yatatosha, bro? Kila kitu iko chonjo? Exactly. So the site continues as normal, and today we're gonna be launching out a bit of the sand, and that is it. So I'm gonna be checking on them. I'm gonna be coming to take much of the tea. I've brought much of the tea to the site to make sure we're gonna be getting a bit of the tea and make sure that everything is coming out more effective. Keep tuned, keep it locked. Beautiful people, back again to the G Castle here, and as normal, as the work continues and the progress always goes on as far as everything is in concern. Today the gypsum people never attended. I don't know what happened to them, and I know you understand sometimes whenever you have a contract, because the gypsum is a contract, this house is a contract, talk about the skimming is a contract, much of the things and how they're going to be kept. So sometimes you can feel like, oh, today I'm going to be getting those kind of the cash, yeah? So they have just went for for a little bit. But I know tomorrow but one everything will just be fine. My brother is always constant here. How is everything, bro?
Everything is good.
Everything is rhyming, eh?
Good,
so the work continues as normal.
As usual.
Exactly. So the work continues, and even some of the
is very clean.
now the G castle is now gonna be whitish. Gonna be white in color.
Because State House.
Exactly, State House. So we're gonna be finishing here and get to the pillars.
Yes,
Yeah, I think as we're gonna be getting to the pillars. So as even he has already oriented here a bit. So it's a bit rougher than even here. It's a very rough whenever it comes to the pillars, because the engineer told me that I'm gonna be getting here some tiles, but I refused. No, this kind of the G castle is not of tiles. He talk about outside. I don't think if it's gonna be a good look whenever we talk about the tiles outside or inside tiles. A bit it will be something that are going to be contradicting to my own way of understanding. But the talk about how the plan is talking about everywhere should be just very fantastic. Because if it could be tiling or other things, we could have already done some molding to this kind of the pillars and much more. But that is not what we are just planning about this kind of the time. And that is how everything is just running here. So I'm going to be getting in to understand how things are just undergoing here. And a bit some of the materials here. These are cements. You understand we have different types of cements as usual. This kind of the cement are called Dumu. This kind of the cements here are good in terms of the biogas construction. That's why I bought them. And this is the gyprock, which is called a gyprock here. And this is used in terms of the gypsums also. And the one that is using in the skimming is called the skimming coat. So that's how things are just roaming. So whenever we come here, I want to be checking about what has been trending here in a way that we're going to be understanding what's going to be popping out. So this kind of the gentleman of the gypsum here, they placed this kind of the border sides here, and they skimmed a bit to the top here. And today it could be the work of coming to get it, talk about finish it up, and also start skimming the whole house on top, and other rooms should be fixed properly. Even here we were a bit not having much of the things to continue here, as it was so necessary in a way that we were using this kind of the place to pass much of the things, talk about the wires and also the breathing system. You understand, up there's no breathing, eh? Exactly. So when we come to the kitchen here a bit, the room is good. So it's only putting, there's a certain tape that just using here, and also they're going to be skimming it, and this room will just be already, it doesn't have much of the things talk about flowers or whatever, like this one of the kitchen here. Also the bedrooms will just only have the running light, or we can just have something like a snake light. It's the same, they did it here also, like the first bedroom here, and it's just a small thing that's only remaining. Even the talk about the third bedroom, it's the same, they did, and it's gonna be now looking so nice, and just very nice, because what we need is to see how everything is progressing, and that's what we need to understand and also go forward with them. And also back to the biogas also, talk about the biogas also is part of the program to make it happen. As you can now see, they are now digging a tunnel. And hello, Jambo Kenya. Mambo iko fiti? Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So guys, this is they're gonna be creating a bit of a channel here that's gonna be a little bit good. Talk about, they're gonna be passing this kind of the pipe for the gas to pass to the kitchen there. And already things are just moving. You can now see this is a channel that's going to be created here up to where the biogas area is, and also the other person is starting from here, getting to the other space there. So that's how the work continues. And inside here, I'm going to be checking what is really roaming out at this kind of the time. I said that my father had that kind of a good idea, and had a future plan about the biogas, but the standards of living a bit, the economy, the capital, a bit brought much of the shenanigans. And that's why he created this kind of the channel, and he was collecting here all the stuff, talk about the cow dung, they were mixed with the urine, and they were just flowing direct to this kind of the spot, which is 4 feet down. And he was collecting here much of, now when he knew that the capital was not enough, he decided to talk about, he will just be taking much of the stuffs from here and getting them to the shamba, which is collecting the already developing cow dung that was inside there, and he was taking them to the shamba. I added here this kind of the structure so you can just be collecting much of the water all around my home, and it was the one that was collecting much of the water. So it's the same the way that we just this kind of the biogas has come with this kind of the criteria like this one here. So here it's where now we're going to be placing this kind of the feces, and also mix them with water, and now allow it now to do what? To go down. So from this kind of the spot, getting down, it will just come to this kind of the bank that is here. It's like a tank down here. It's gonna be now mixed, and it's gonna be coming inside here. So the work continues as normal, as you can now see how things are just happening here. And I think they're just in the plaster platform here, and what we are just doing at this kind of the point here already, it's meticulous here. You can now see these ones are here, like we can call them some doors to make sure you're going to be enclosing on top here, as it's going to be so effective here. So my brother is coming from inside here. Sasa ni plaster ilikuwa ya juu ama ya chini?
Ilikuwa ya juu na chini.
Oh, ya juu na chini. So kando yote iko sawa sasa?
Kando yote iko sawa, ndio namalizia.
Ndio unamalizia. So sasa uko pande hii.
Sasa niko pande hii tu bado.
Hata
hii bado nitapika.
Hata hiyo ni plaster. Safi. So he's finishing up from inside here, and now we're going to be now starting to heap much of the cow dung here. I don't know where we're going to be getting much of the cow dung to heap here, but we'll try our best. So also, as this kind of the biogas is going to be here, we are trying to maintain this kind of the banana. You understand the work of this banana some previous months ago. This was my industry, that I was making sure that the production was coming from that kind of an industry. Very fantastic. So we are adding about some of the holes here to make sure we're going to be having some bananas planted also. As you can now see, is digging here much of the holes to make sure that the bananas are going to be planting the whole section. Talk about it's going to be the G banana plant, and we're going to be taking those kind of the gas which has been already produced, like in the biogas here, the excessive one, they will be coming through this kind of an area, and we will be accessing them to the farm direct there. So that's what we are just planning from this kind of the section here. So everything is coming out effectively. As I said, that the Jiggers are going to be independent, and it will be depending on itself with sustainable renewable sources and much more things that we want to be having at this kind of the time. So I'm trying the best to make sure that we are living in an era whereby there's no much of struggling, like, oh, you know, everything should depend on itself. So here we are digging this kind of a stump from here, as it's going to be creating a room, because everything we should do it understanding that in the front coming we shall have here a house. So before that house comes here, we should have prepared already the area enough to make sure that the house that is going to be constructed there is very nice to come out, and that is what we are trying. And I said that I'm going to be making sure that all the mud houses are taken off from this kind of the home. As we're going to be supporting Gintu, my aim is to make it happen, and my aim is to make sure that where the legacy of my father left it, the Gintu always makes it more perfect, and I shall make sure that everything's so fantastic. Already the bricks, talk about now, we have we are approaching 72 hours from right now, and I understand that we're going to be having something which is very unique. And already at this kind of the spot here, it's now cool. It has already cooled down a bit. Now we're going to be having other things to continue from this kind of the space from here. So already the bricks you can even handle, and you can now touch them, because already they are now a bit well. You can now see. So a bit, they're now, you can even use them right now. You can now see this. So there's no problem here. You can even handle them here. They are not so much hot, but they are hotter getting inside. They are hotter inside, but up here is a bit cool. So you can now see how the brick is gonna be coming out. This is the brick now. You can now see how the brick is. So already they have been good, and everything is now getting good at this kind of the point. And I understand everything is so fantastic as we're gonna be making it happen, and much more people are helping Gintu and saying that Gintu, let's get forward, and that's what we are just doing here as everything is moving, and that is it. So right now I think from next week we're going to be commencing to establish all the the rooms or the houses that have not yet been finished. We're going to be making sure we're going to be finishing them up, as also we get forward to understand that like the toilet, like the modern kitchen of my mom, and also the gas is about to they finish the biogas. So I have to make sure that things are running very quickly. So as you're going to be supporting Gintu, and don't feel like, oh, Gintu, I supported you yesterday, or what about today? Today is today, but tomorrow going to be another day. And as far as everything is in concern, every kind of a single cent goes where it's necessary. And understand, because the mission is to make sure that no madhouse is going to be prevailing here. That's what we are just looking forward to and make it happen. So as far as we are just in touch, I'm going to be updating you what we're going to be coming each and every kind of the time, as we're going to be handling much of the matters here. So keep tuned. I'm going to be back to you in a short while. Guys, back home here a bit here, and we are having some of 2-3 things that are just conducted here. A bit we have a big soil erosion whenever it comes to the rainy season, like right now here. And we are trying to make sure they're going to be controlling much of water which is getting out from here, and also controlling, because this kind of the piping that we're going to be passing here, it's going to be for the gas, and much of the water that is passing from all this kind of the compound is passing through this kind of an area. So I think we have to make sure that it's going to be enclosed so firmly in a way that you're going to be not tempered with much of water whenever you're going to be getting out. Also, you're going to be controlling much of the water to pass through this kind of an area, because we have a channel of water that passes through here, as we're going to be accessing down there, as you can now see here. And it's trying to make sure that we are getting a bit of a level. It's not like it's a final level that we are looking for, or it's not a final decision that we have just reached, that okay, it has to happen the way it is here, but a little bit for the temporary right now, because what we are just looking even in front here a bit this kind of the house that is here is bringing much of it's going to be like an odd one out, as you can see from that far end. And that's what we are aiming forward to do. And let me kusaidia bwana. Shikilia huko. Guys, you know this kind of the channel kuja pande hivi. Sasa utanimulika, si ndio? Yeah. So guys, a bit here we are looking for a permanent solution also. Whenever we talk about we are looking for a gas channel, as it's going to be passing through this kind of an area. By now, if it's going to be used with an immediate effect, we have to make sure that it goes to this kind of the madhouse, which is a bit odd one out, but this is our legacy, and that's why I always talk about the legacy has to prevail. And the madhouse is where we came from, and we cannot talk about it's a bad house. No, that's where we came from. So we have to understand each and every kind of the possibility that we're going to be having here. So this is where the piping will be passing, and I will make sure that nobody is going to be tampering with this kind of an area. You understand, we might be having some of the constructions here, and they might talk about dig this kind of an area. Yeah, so we have to consider it to make sure that it's going to not be tempered at this kind of the area here. So guys, it's a continuous work that the area is very stretched. Talk about a very long area, and we can just talk about it's about 70 to 80 meters the pipe will be running to. And also you understand this kind of the pipe that will be laid here, sometimes it will have whenever the gas is less, it will have some moisture that will be passing through it. So we're going to be formulating like a slanting area, that when the gas is not available, this water that is the moisture inside the pipe will go back. So this kind of an area should be a bit talk about it's like a slanting position that that kind of the water will again go back to the same tank we are talking about here. So the area should be slanting a bit, and that's what we are just aiming forward and making it happen as things are going to be coming to you live, which is one-on-one. And I appreciate much of the people who are ever talking about, oh, Gintu, let's make it happen. So we're going to be getting to the lunchtime edition, and from that, I think about I'm going to be getting some food to their site, and also people who are just at this kind of the site also should get much of their meals as equal. Right now, whenever I go out, I'll be telling much of the people that, oh, can you come for the work? Always they run like safari rally. And as we're going to be supporting, I think by Sunday, we're going to be getting back to the Jiggers family. Talk about starting the bricks laying. And I wish much of the people who are going to be touched with their family and talk about, oh, Gintu, I can just support you in this one. And I'll really appreciate and talk about, thank you very much for you being tuned. And also talking about going to be supporting so as you can just get with them and also have a permanent solution. Like the way I'm just putting in this kind of the gas, it's like a permanent solution. And we're going to be making it happen. And that's why I say that we're going to be changing all the position here. We're going to be changing the whole home so as we can just have a best way for us to groove and talk about we have something which is very unique. So keep it tuned. I'm going to be back to you as we're going to be supporting us also to make it happen, because even anyone in this kind of the world are going to be supported and everything will just run very equal and very, very awesome. Let me take some of the food to the site and understand that it's lunchtime edition and everybody should just get some of the meals and they get some energy so they can just prevail with their works that they always are doing, and also make sure that everybody going to be getting that kind of a morale to continue with the work. Because when you can just talk about, oh, I'm going to be getting you some of the food and cut you, so sometimes it brings much of the chaotic things here and there, and somebody can just be demoralized and talk about, oh, we go there, we are going to cut. No, I've never charged anybody a meal a day, and talk about 2 meals a day is going to be so effective. So keep tuned. I'm going to be back to you after a short while. Guys, back to the class again. We're going to be learning about the session of the biogas here a bit. And today we have just lit much of the fire alongside this kind of the biogas station. So you can just see we are using manual operation. Talk about use the local material around you to sustain your sustainability. We have ever come to that kind of the conclusion. So here we are to make sure that everything is surviving. We have also this kind of the pipe made in Kenya. For the first time I'm checking materials made in Kenya, but I don't know if it's possible. I don't know. Made in Kenya is something which is a bit interesting whenever we find something made in Kenya, but it's no longer something which is always there that it's going to be built in Kenya. But we are here to make sure they're going to be getting this kind of the stuffs here, and today we are in this kind of the you're going to be looking like a tap. You're going to be tapping some of the water from inside here, but here we are. Some of the people have not known that where we are, it's a bunker down here. And you can call it a pyramid also, pyramid of Giza. They are down here. And what I can just talk about is it's one of the biggest platforms that you're going to be coming up with. And I think it's one of the uniquest platform also, which is getting some biogas around here. Talk about in Kuria West, mostly talk about Mabera sub-county, Kuria West sub-county, and much more people, they ever talk about how can I get a biogas here. And I can say about it's a way of understanding yourself and also giving it out. Talk about you're going to be doing something which is more interesting and also other people can just follow. There's a time I said that I'm going to be having agricultural show one day, one time at my home here, and it will come. And much of the people will come to learn about the newest and the latest development in terms of agriculture. Because here in Kenya, I said one day again that agriculture is the backbone of the economy of Kenya in terms of the revenue correction, in terms of the CPM of the country, because it constitutes about 50% of it. All the talk about this kind of the revenue correction and much more. And agriculture constitutes about 50% of it into the Kenyan economy, which is more interesting. Like all the agriculture, you understand whenever we talk about agriculture, when you are on the earth, what's agriculture first? Agriculture, for the people who learned about agriculture, they understand that it deals with much of the animals and the plants and also how to farm them and how to maintain them. And when it comes to also maintaining in terms of agriculture, which is animal husbandry, talk about zero grazing, talk about tethering, much more such kind of the ones, and pastoralism, that is agriculture also. So we want to be getting a renewable source, talk about something that cannot harm our own or alter our normal functioning of our bodies. Because from this kind of the site, you can see, what is he doing? He's just pressurizing this kind of the a bit fire so they can just lit out, and which is putting on fire, or is it putting off? Putting on fire. Yeah, exactly. He's putting on fire there. So what is he doing? So this kind of the smoke, it's coming from different trees, which are different varieties or species of trees here, which is some of the trees are harmful to our health, some of the trees cannot be consumed, some of the trees are herbalous. So when they come to this kind of the smoke, so sometimes they can talk about some smoke is healthy. I don't know if it's true. If you are using a firewood which is a herb like nature, I don't know that kind of the smoke if it's so harmful or it's just good to the healthy purposes. But this kind of the smoke, it gives us more of diseases also. Talk about diagnostic diseases, talk about breathing diseases whenever it comes to the contact with our body. So we have just talked about, are we going to be staying to this kind of the regime of three stones each and every kind of the time? Talk about we have to have a renewable energy. So that's what we are just doing here. So I think also fire cannot die in terms of the use into the local and the cultural and the way we're going to be using them here internally. But we're going to be knowing which kind of an alternative are you going to be doing to make sure that we're going to be having something else that you can just evolve coming with the outside here. So at this kind of the point here, you're going to be receiving much of the gas from here, and you see it's going to be a bit this kind of the pipe here, it's going to be put or placed at this kind of the area here, so you can just get some of the gas from here back to the kitchen. And you understand, we are using a traditional kitchen, which is a mud house, and also we are using 3 stones, which is making a bit having smoking every day, very harmful to our health, and which we want to diverse from it. And that's why we want to be using the local material around us to sustain our sustainabilities in a way that use the cow dung, which is locally available, and we have cows, and also put onto this kind of the biogas tank, which is started here, because where I am standing here, down here, it's a biogas, like a pot that we're going to be receiving this kind of the cow dung. And after a fermentation, we will receive a gas to the kitchen, which is so renewable. We're going to be not having some of altering our body normality. And that's what we're just doing here. He's just connecting much of the pipes here a bit. As you can now see, I think it's just like a valve, which is an on and off. Wow. So it has an on and an off. Exactly. So you're going to be burning a bit of a metal here to make sure that it's the one that's going to be used to link between different position between a pipe, and it's a manual, but there is electrified one that's a modern one. But here we talk about use the local material that it is there, that you can just talk about you want to be using it. Exactly. So here it is.
Wow. Acha tuchome kwanza, hii inakuanga ngumu kiasi.
So this metal is very, very hot. So you're gonna be, it has a small here and a wider there, but it will come to join inside here, and that is the nature of it. For the people who knows plumbing, this is the natural way of making it happen. Then you insert, insertion. So it seals proper. There's no even a leakage that can come out. So you have to a bit pause so as it can just be cold, so as it cannot produce much of the gas, maybe the leakages of the gas. And I think we should be so punctual about it, and also we should have the moment of security here, because how they are looking, they look so delicate, and somebody from somewhere, whenever you are cooking, can come and put here off. You find yourself, where's the gas? Where's the gas? Where's the gas? Where's the gas? Somebody has put off here. It will be a bit tricky, but it's outside, and that's why they are recommending, whenever you are just building this kind of the biogas, it should be inside the compound. and you can notify who is penetrating a side, who is getting there, and how is it. So that's why I'm just talking about, we're going to be fencing this kind of the compound, so they can just be inside the G Castle a bit, and everybody can just check about it. By today, the G Castle is no longer ready, and also the modern kitchen is no longer ready. And what I'm going to be doing is to make sure they're going to be getting it to where the kitchen is, and that where we have a mud kitchen, that's where it's going, and that's the effect, because we want to be using it with an immediate effect, and that's why we're going to be getting forward. So guys, we are on it still, and I think we're going to be now again burning here and burning this pipe. And is it long? Imefika mpaka jikoni? Yeah. Oh, so it's very long, eh? And now the gas is going to be running down here like electricity. And guys, some of the people are asking about getting electricity of the biogas. No. That is very dangerous. Maybe you get somebody who is qualified, very qualified person, and you should have thunder arresters everywhere, because whenever it rains, maybe the people who can sustain and have such kind of electricity produced in the biogas, it's only the people who are living in less rainfall, whereby they receive maybe per season, maybe very less millimeters, less than 150 milliliters per season. And they're the people who can just get this kind of the biogas there, because there's no much of the thunderstorms, there's no much of hailstones. So whenever it rains and you have electricity passing down here, all this kind of the houses, the one day you will come and find the whole family is dead. And what is the cause? This kind of the biogas, whenever it comes to electricity, is very, very dangerous if you don't have thunder arrester. So, but me, it's not electricity. I want to produce gas, because this kind of the G Castle here, it's one of the biggest platform that we're going to be using its own resources. Talk about the biogas, talk about farm, talk about greens, talk about fish ponds, and much more. We're going to be producing, talk about the greens, they are here. We're going to be producing, the G Castle going to be dependent on itself. That's what I want, to make sure that everything is coming out. Whenever Gintu is there or not, the G Castle will survive. Not that, oh, Gintu, I will be not the person who's going to be removing the feces so it can be put here, the cows. And I'm not going to migrate with the cows. The cows will be available, and the cow dung will be available. We continue with the work. Let's talk. Fantastic, guys. It's a manual operation, and it's very, very hot. Fantastic. So it's melting, and it is inserted completely there.
Smart.
Eco smart. Very smart. So guys, another thing I wanted to talk is this gentleman here. He's a steel bender, he's a top mason, he's a plumber. Let me look another thing. Top handman. Let me look another thing here. So whenever he starts, he finishes, which is the best. And I was ever advertising to much of the boys from the village that we can look for alternative, that it doesn't matter that if you ask him, he never went to school, that, oh, I'm going to school to learn about these things. And you know, a person who went to school and learn about the construction of a biogas, it's just in the books. But when it comes to the field, the people are coming to perform the magic in the field are the people who talked about, let me go for a short course, maybe let me go for a short course from somebody. That's the little fact that I can say. Because we are looking like Harmonize. Person knows Harmonize in Africa? Every time whenever we're going to be starting the music, weed. Yeah, so we're going to be choking here. Everything's so fantastic. So guys, we are connecting it, and everything is just roaming out very fantastic. And I appreciate much of the people ever supporting and talking about it. We shall rhyme and become and go and settle it. That's the best way for us to make it. And that's why we're just making sure that we're going to be looking at how everything is just moving. And also we follow this kind of the piping back to the upper section and see what's going to be trending here. So you're going to be connecting. As you're going to be connecting here, you're going to be getting a little bit of the data and also getting to understand what is just popping out each and every kind of time. So here we have lit here. Somebody can talk about, oh, are we, you know, at night whenever it reaches around 2 to 3 at night, now you get the witches are sitting like this at night, and they are doing some meticulous job at night. You know, that's a job. They are in the job. You know, sometimes we have different ways of earning. So I don't know how they benefit whenever they lit fire at night and they sit on a group and talk about, yeah, we have to make it happen. I don't know how it comes, but that's nature. We have to have them and they should be there and everything should be so fantastic and making it happen. So let's wait for this kind of the work to go. And also because we are running out of time, also this kind of, we can call them the tops that will be just put in the top there, a bit concreted. They are still drying. He talked about going to be taking like 21 days, like a story building, but I think they'll be so efficient whenever they get like 1 week to 2 weeks, they will be just ready and they will just be used. And I see there's a hole here that is going to be placed here, so you can just see if this kind of the stuff, is it full or how is it gonna be. And I think about that is what gonna be coming out. That is effective. That's their work and they understand what they are doing here. So back to even the G Castle a bit, it's ongoing good and everything is just running more meticulous. You can even see from this kind of the place how it's shining from inside trees, and whenever you're gonna be approaching very near, it's now white, and now you can even see how it's just reflecting from this kind of the far end, the white scarred G Castle, and very meticulous, very awesome here. So you're gonna be one of the classic, you can now see from this kind of the space, one of the classic houses that are going to be coming from this kind of the side here. The man is on it to make sure that everything going to be so fantastic, skimming. So today we have just reached down to the pillars. They're going to be skimmed very much fantastic. And after skimming, I think that's the first coat. We have the second coat, and maybe sometimes we're going to be having the third coat. That is the nature of it. So we have started outside, and we are now skimming outside here to make sure that it's going to be looking so whitish, and going to be like a state house. So all the sides are just you can see from this kind of the space here. So when you're going to be finishing skimming this kind of the pillars, and also to the top of the deck, talk about the underneath of the deck here. The shutter.
Yeah, the shutter.
The underneath of the deck.
Yeah.
Is a deck? The underneath.
Okay. Or even you can call it
Shutter. Shutter.
Yeah, that's another name.
Keep Babylon kill still as a shutter, boy. Yeah, man. Yeah. Underneath of the deck. It's gonna be effective. So it's gonna be also skimmed, very meticulous, and I think gonna be starting tomorrow also, and to make sure that we're gonna be having the classy G Castle, and also to the top. And I think about gonna be having some of the tiles that the engineer can start, even if it's gonna be how it's gonna be. This kind of a small space here left, like the protruding lintel, this one here and the upper one, they will be tiled. And the ones that will be tiled there, to make sure that they cannot reflect much of the water coming to the window a bit, they will be tiled, and also that kind of an area, it will be tiled more fantastic. So it will be only skimmed down, but the other surfaces exposed outside, they will be tiled a bit to make sure that it's gonna be so classy from this kind of the spot here. So we are on it, and keep on supporting, keep on subscribing, liking and sharing, as we're gonna be supporting and talk about Gintu. This is for the G Castle. Oh, I have a moose, and I'll talk about, yeah man, this is what we always need, and we're gonna be making it happen. I sell and pop, and God bless you, whoever is just talking about Gintu. Today I'm gonna be putting you something for the tiles and also some cements, and it will be so effective and so fantastic whenever it comes to that kind of the position. So back to a bit here. So even some of the bricks, I think I have some of the, can call them the residues, or I can call them the ones that are just remaining a bit, but fantastic. The work continues as normal, but we don't know if they are finished or not, because the whole plan, the plan is who having it.
Nilikuwa nataka kucheki kama hewa inaenda direct isi ikakuwa imefungana kwa hizi majoint.
So inaenda
Direct.
Oh, sasa kani ya nini?
Ndio naisikia hapa.
Ni mimi nimevuta, sasa ikakuwa na vitu kwa pipe. Hiyo nimemeza.
Condition. Hata kwetu hapo. The work continues, guys. So
Sasa mambo inaenda vizuri.
Vulai. Mambo inaenda vulai.
Mambo inaenda
safi. So we are still on it to understand what is next, because all of us, we are learning.
Yeah.
And you can now see how we are seated here, like in the past. We are now discussing somebody's wife has gone. This is how they used to sit in the tradition, and they discuss on how bad habit you're gonna be having and how many canes will be caned, and this is the effect of it. So when you see and you come to your home and find people are seated that way and they're having fire at the middle, know that somebody who is being discussed there, your days are numbered. and that's the nature of it. So whenever you come at your home during the tradition or talk about the past time, we were ever coming first, you peep, is there anybody? So your father is available, and you hear some rumors somewhere. My friend, you have to look for an alternative. Rush to your grandmother or auntie. Stay there for a bit, your father to cool down, and everything gonna be. But whenever you find that the family is sitting because of you, you are so important. They want you to be straight, and they have seen the future of you. But personally, they know that this has no future. You will come, nobody's bothered with you, whatever you do, and whenever now you get some problem, they tell you, we told you. We told you. But the person you are being caned, they know that you're gonna be having a future of them, and you are joking around. But that is nature, in this kind of the African naturism, And we're gonna be checking how the things are happening here a bit, and also to understand meticulously. Huh? Yeah, measure completely, not completely. Measure good. If you mess, we mess all. Yeah. No messing. Guys, this is like a surgery. If you mess, dead.
Dead.
Yeah. Dead. Kumf dead. Yeah. And it looks like it's gonna be raining a bit. It's cloudy a bit here and there. Yeah, so we are looking on how the things gonna be handled here a bit. So guys, you just wait for it and see how now the gas is gonna be running there. But now my biggest worry is one. Hiyo najua. Nishaona hata vile unafanya. So my biggest worry is not even this one. My biggest worry is where are we gonna be getting this kind of the first, you understand, the first time for you to put inside here cow dung, you need to have pickups of them, because how I saw this kind of the bunker is, it's one of the biggest save that we're gonna be saving feces inside here. It's very big. And I was hearing that also in schools they were using children talk about people's feces, so they can just produce the gas that will be used in the kitchen. And whenever we're going to be cooking, they talk about people's feces is the one is cooking in the no, it was sounding bad. That's why those kind of the project died. But it was not sounding good whenever it comes to that kind of the position. But that's nature for the people who understand what is real, and that's real. And that kind of the story is trending because one of the schools around, they got this kind of the project, like the government talked about going to be building the biogases to much of the school, so the teachers will be cooking from this kind of the biogas. And when this product, or talk about this kind of the product went to their school, they talked about, now you understand, children there was special toilet there that it was used to mix and come to the biogas. So whenever this kind of the gas was produced, it went to the kitchen. People are talking about, we are cooking from feces, biogas. Teachers were not eating it. They thought about it is like those kind of maybe that smell from the feces is the one that is cooking it there. So they thought about it, even that food was not necessary. So the teachers started not to eat in school. Even the principal asked, what is happening? Teachers are not eating. Students now are coming to scramble for food of teachers. And they thought about, the teachers are refused because the gas that is used. But it's a matter of nature. Talk about if you have ever been growing where you know that firewood is available, and there's no much of mayhem and contradicting statements A, B, C, D, like, firewood is a problem, maybe is they called LPG gases, they are available. So they think about the other gases, like the one that is here. They think about that gas reflects to the kitchen with that smell, but that is not the nature. And And I understand with the local people like us, even me, sometimes whenever you bring that one over toilet, people to poo and it becomes a gas, even me I'll be suspicious a bit because of it. So that's nature, because we are living in the village. Now we are looking for the light. And I know much of the people want to be learning from here and talk about, oh, Gintu, how is it working? I know much of the people now going to be coming, and I should be very punctual. There are people going to be coming and talking about, Gintu, let me see how it is eating in the kitchen. And they will study and talk about, oh, that's how it's working. They can come with something which is very small and drop to be food. I understand. So sometimes you should be punctual. Not everybody loves Gintu, not everybody loves you, and that is the nature. So we're gonna be looking forward on what is gonna be coming out from this kind of the position here. Look at this kind of the posture, guys. I told you the village life. Yeah, you can see the posture, and everybody is looking forward to understand what is really meant, what is really coming out here. Even Gintu is part of the team. Don't worry. That's why I'm filming. Yeah. Fantastic.
Iko sawa.
Hivyo niambia gasi haiwezi leak. Haiwezi leak. Hata kabisa.
Kabisa si unaona imenunua vizuri.
So I'm asking about the gas leakage because somebody can come here and cut and put the fire. We found the bomb inside. Yeah. We are at night and hearing some of the RPG outside here talk about, hey, is it going to be coming something else? So that's what is. It's not nature. It's just by the way. But also you should be so understanding, because it's outside, and you should understand on how to work with it. Somebody can come because it's no longer available in the village, and somebody can roam from wherever is roaming from and talk about, let me go and see how it's going to be working. So it will become a bit a problem. Guys, we are smoking here. Don't worry about it. We have been into this kind of the fires, east, west and south, and also that's why we wanted to change the environment a bit, and we have something which is renewable, and also use something which is meticulous. Exactly, that's why we are just doing this kind of thing. It's my first time also to check about it, but I've ever used it in one of the organizations, and I came to know that it was biogas when days had gone already. When I talked about, when they said that, oh, yesterday they never added some cow dung, that's the time I knew that, oh, we are using a biogas. Okay, now sometimes you can never know, but it can work, and it works efficiently. But a problem is whereby if you are using two of you, both of you two, so if one is using in the downer room, another one is in the upper room, know that whenever it's about to finish, only the downer room will use it, the other one will never use it. That's the difference between how it's going to be working. So because I knew about it, and that's why we are having it here, and other people to learn about it, and they can just implement, because a small development comes as people going to be learning about it, they're going to develop it. And also we have the engineer who is around, and he's taught me about he stayed where I was ever learning also. So everything is so fantastic. So everything is wagwan. Keep it tuned. Let's get it to the ground. Bado haijaiva.
Bado. Naenda pole sana. Ingekuwa na mbili, ni moja ilipotea. Tunaendaka na mbili, choma na unachoma na ingine. Choma na ingine.
Inaenda mara moja haraka.
Itabidi ununue mashini.
Yeah. Mashini nayo lazima nunue na mawaya. Sasa consider guys, buying a machine for this kind of the burning of the plumbing and using the electrical one. If there's no electricity, work has slept. Better you go with the manual one, because there is nowhere you can go and not find a matchstick and some firewood. So better you carry the manual operating tools than talking about you are digital. Sometimes they can mess you. You will wait until electricity comes. Like it's only in my home here only we have electricity. Other homes around here no electricity. You understand? So if you can go to other homes that are not related to Gintu and talk about Gintu, please help me electricity, and we are not in conjunction, you will find it rough. Toa mchanga, bandika juu. And the pipe, guys, the pipe is very wrong. The pipe is very, very wrong. Exactly. As for the people who never saw what we are just look at down here, it's a bit like a cement. So that's why we're talking about. We have a tanker down there that we're gonna be bringing some gas. So even that's why I see some of the petrol, diesel, or talk about the petrol stations are always dug down. Even this one is buried. So even some people can step on top here, but nothing can happen. And the security is very tight, but you should be very punctual of hard objects not to fall on top of it. It will be messing with us. Has to cool. Whenever it cools, sealing automatic. Wagwa. That's the best way. So we're going to be connecting here again, and after connecting here, we now start heaping some cow dung inside here, as we're going to be waiting for the gas. Where? Kwa Jehovah wanyonyi. So inside here, guys, I told you it's a bunker. Now see from inside how it is. So already the echo. Wow. There you go, sawa. Guys, this work is for professionals only. For professionals only. Nani ajue eti makaa inakuanga na kitu inaitwa radiation. Radiation is and convectional. Convectional is when water is turning this way. Yeah? Radiation is when now the fire is firing up. Conduction is when it is going counter, it's going aside, like in a jiko. Or am I failing in science?
Like that.
It's like that. Convection is water when it's boiling. The one that is up is going down. And radiation, it's when fire is firing up, like when you are roasting meat. When it's going aside, it's called conduction. Exactly. So this kind of the metal should be burned with the radiation, because fire is firing up. It happens to the bricks. So fire is firing up, not aside. Asides a bit, because whenever you're gonna be taking some talk about, maybe you are gonna be taking some of the bricks, you'll find that some of the sides have not, but the fire was firing, but they have not yet been burnt completely. Why? That's the occasion that happens to this kind of the fire. As I'm good in science sometimes. I was best there, but I don't know what happened to becoming a lecturer. Exactly. So now, whatever is inside there, we're gonna be meeting it in the kitchen. Fantastic. So let's meet with the gas in the kitchen in the next episode. Already it's connected, they're gonna be backfilling. Sasa ni backfilling, eh?
Backfilling hapo.
Yeah, it's now backfilling. The chapter is there now, backfilling, as we're gonna be waiting for the gas in the kitchen. Keep it tuned. This is the way forward, and we're gonna be coming to you in a short while, updating what we're gonna be coming at this kind of the port.